I'm Marcela Huerta, and I'm going to be reading a few poems. And I'm getting closer to the mic. I'm going to start with an older poem. This is like the basically one of the first love poems I've ever written. I find writing about love very difficult. Okay, this is called Bumblebee Unlimited. I missed the sunset looking for a job on borrowed time. In reality, I should have been watching the sunset and trusting that my description of the sunset would be a source of wealth because people would want to hear about the sunset the way that I would describe it. Out there, you are taking my word for it, so you are not watching the sunset. You are watching your past haunt you in the present through your other senses. Ominously, everyone in the park is looking up at the sky. Nothing seems to be falling but me, and I'm all the way over here, covered in honey and misery. I'm tired of the bees out here hounding my personal space. I don't want to open my mouth too wide for you and swallow one. The last thing I need right now is to end up in the emergency room. The next day, on a walk, I get to hear from you. You drop from a tree and sidle into my palm at a guarded pace. You're the size and consistency of a fortune-telling paper fish. I promise myself I will care for you, even though I'm trying not to do that sort of thing anymore. But soon, you are the size of a small cat and you keep running into the hall. All alone, I unlock the door and hope you'll come back changed. When you do, and you are, I crack an egg against your skin and peck at it lightly, so as to say, I understand that this is delicate. What did you bring me? A collar and a painted wooden toy. I put the collar on my lamp as a joke, but inside I feel a bit shy. I'm too young for a wooden toy, but the way it looks at me makes me feel absolved of the past, and I'm grateful. What will we do to celebrate? A cork pops and I think of you inside me. The gratuity of the thought is what makes it worth thinking. We drink the foam off the top of the bottle so nothing is left on the sides for us to stick to or get stung by later. I want to take you to the park and explain everything. There are new birds I've never heard here. I could describe the way they sound, but I don't believe I'm good enough at that, so you'd really have to see it. Or here, why don't you open your mouth and let me look? Maybe I can show you how to make the sounds with your throat. When you finally get it, I can see down your insides, and I feel I understand this all a little better. So, what will we do to celebrate? The grass is sweating under me. I wipe it all up on my knees and look up at you so as to say, it is an instinct for me to be of service, but I'm trying to grow out of it. Now I hate to beg, unless it is for forgiveness or your cock. Suddenly the sunset flicks off and I am left with moderate city darkness, where everything is still clearly visible, like your face and my hopes, and how you want to bury your face in my cunt. I feel like a mango. I want to hold you there, but I'm scared I'll crack your head open like a walnut. I've always been the walnut, so I don't know my own strength. Everything else I'm going to read is from a workshop that I did with Tess Liam, who is an amazing writer who wrote a really beautiful book called Obits that I love a lot. And I really love to learn. And so just whenever I'm given a prompt or an opportunity, I really feel grateful. So all of these are from that workshop. I would also call them kind of, this chunk of poems is kind of like my chilly poems from visiting. Mi casa, su casa, or home is where my death is. Here it feels like everything is up in the air. Birds on the vine, on the tree. A type of death light out the window. White stucco, white sunlight against a hole in the wall from 1970 avocados off the tree, etc. I'm not afraid of the sea when all I'm asked to do is look at it. Yes, I speak the language of this heart, and in the morning I break bread with a mouth that holds a lot of empty words. What do I say about a rock that's wet and red forever? I don't want to look away, but it's better not to know some times, things, me. I didn't come from anywhere, I just appeared, and you can take me anywhere too. I always thought I'd want to go before it all ended and there was no more room for my feet in the water. My feet get so warm when they're not watered. Doris's house is not my house. Doris has a television and it's always steaming hot because it's always on. We keep wondering what will finally turn it off. Things that could do the trick. The electric bill. Her son taking a sick day and losing his job. Someone rolling her out and lowering her into the ground and then switching it off on the way out the door. A bit bleak, all in all. Best to keep it on. In the present tense, I feel like I'm really far away and it's kind of boring because a large part of my life is just waiting to be told someone has died before I got to say goodbye, which means I have to learn to regulate my emotions, which I think makes me kind of cold. You don't have a place to stay in a place that's not really yours unless you have someone in it to see. Kind of obvious, but visiting where you're from is a genre. Anyway, back in the past. That fucking television, whispers my mother, while taking out her hearing aid. It gives me a pulsing headache to watch people disagree and also to disagree with people. I always have something jammed in my ear anyway, so who am I to cast stones down on a loud television? What I mean is, I like to hear if something has changed or not changed on a daily basis. And I like to find out about it from an outside source. And I like the outside source to calibrate the tragedy for me, so I don't panic. One thing I can never seem to find my keys about with the news is how sometimes nothing happens, even though I swear it did. Like we were just talking about it yesterday. And it's starting to feel like you're a human statue, and you're starting to scare me. There's a lot of in-between in this story, but I'm skipping it. On the last day of my last trip, you wouldn't believe it, but the television is on. Los Jaivas are staging a comeback tour live after the spelling bee. The song they play is Sube a nacer conmigo, hermano. You can look it up if it feels important. I start to cry and cover my face, but it's too complicated to explain why to the people I don't know. My mother looks up and catches falling plates because she knows a broken clock is right twice a day, by which I mean she knows my father is saying hello or goodbye by playing our song from hell or heaven or wherever it is really complicated men go. I have no idea why she's crying, says Doris, which is fair because nothing happened. Okay, this next poem is called Apple of My Sty. I put warm rain in my hot water bottle until the weight is nice in my hands. I rested on my big red eye. Something has swollen my eye shut, and I have a suspicion it was my fault due to the way I've been living. Today I sat in the tub until my face was completely red and raw and fresh, a new baby, soft, blurry eyesight, only seeing things in black and white, that kind of thing. Yesterday, I looked out the window at a squirrel climbing a fire escape to the roof of my neighbor's house. It made me want to roam unbothered into the privileges of the people around me, which I'd only ever done before in disguise. When I get one of my whims and go for it, everybody stops me. Stop stopping me. Right now, my whim is to get up on that roof where I can suck the sun directly into my gut and get it onto my eye to cool it down. Right now, I'm trying to solve my problems on my own. Mostly, I don't want to go to the doctor about my eye. Why? Doctors killed my father. A very long pause. I can tell I've gone too far again. Maybe what I mean is you can kill someone you don't see. But enough about that. I have to tell you a secret. Somewhere all the way back on my mother's side is a nameless Spaniard who jumped off his fleet into the ocean because he didn't want to die. He swam, and he swam, and he swam, and when he slugged onto the land, he consumed the lightest girl he could find, and that was that. I feel like probably he should have died, but people rarely die when they deserve to. And now I'm here, and I have to know he's there inside of me, inside of my face, inside of my eye. Flying over his ocean, I point and say, hey, my mom was supposed to end up there, but she ended up somewhere else. Not in a good place or a bad place, just a slightly less wet place. People rarely end up where they deserve to. The last poem I'm going to read is called Money. And I had never tried this form before, it can be read both ways, 2 ways, and I'm going to read it in both ways. So that's one thing to know about it. I was excited about how obtuse it was when I read it this one way, and I'm not used to being obtuse. So I thought that was very exciting. And then the other thing is that I really hate spelling out the word money. Makes me feel very unhappy. So I just imagine it's just with a $sign. Money. One time while we were together, I thought we would have it. Not you, though. Walking down the street, money. Though the we was loose. You at palms in the face. I asked what it was and implied inheritance. Sometimes not. That made you inheritance to me? From whom? It never stings, though. So calm, even though what good white mother leaves money to watch it pass you by? Of course I knew. Out for all, me, to see. Because of course, yes, we figured it out. Money on the counters, money on the windowsill. There is money, money. No, money eludes me, personally, right around the bend. Money. One time while we were walking down the street, I asked what it was that made you so calm, even though, of course, I knew. Yes, we figured it out. Money. Together, I thought we would have it. Money. Though the we was loose and implied inheritance. Inheritance to me? From whom? What good white mother leaves money out for all, me, to see? Money on the counters, money on the windowsill. No, money eludes me, personally. Not you, though. You at palms in the face. Sometimes not. It never stings, though, to watch it pass you by. Because, of course, there's money right around the bend. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you to Ashley and to Anteism and to all the other readers. Thank you so much.